The Time Warp Trio, It's All Greek to Me, Chapter 9. We are monsters like no other.
We are monsters like no other.
We will stomp you and your mother.
We will stomp you and your mother.
Sound off.
Monsters.
Say it again.
Monsters.
Bring it on down.
Monsters, monsters, monsters. We rule.
Typhon and his monster pals filled half the throne room. Fred, Sam, and I, and all the gods and goddesses gathered together by the thrones in the other half. Typhon himself was the weirdest, scariest thing I've ever seen. In the play, Brian dressed up as Typhon by pinning a lot of extra paper plate heads on his costume. But the real thing was unbelievable. 100 heads on thick, snaky necks sprouted out of Typhon's shoulders. Heads shaped like dragons, bulls, tigers, lions, and unamiable things roared and hissed and screamed and yowled. Sam's eyes bugged out, and he fell back on Hera's throne. He looked so white, I thought he had fainted. Behind Typhon, that guy named Geryon, with 3 bodies and 1 head, held our old friend, 3-headed Cerberus, on a leash. Huge birds with razor-sharp claws and women's heads swooped through the air. A pack of the real giant one-eyed cyclops guys crowded a group of scaly-skinned women with snakes for hair. The half-man, half-bull minotaur led a goat and lion-headed beast with a giant snake-head tail. Mount Olympus smoked red and black with poisonous heat and noise. I see it, but I don't believe it, breathed Fred. Believe it, said Sam. And don't look into the eyes of those snake-haired women. They're gorgons, and one of them's Medusa. One look from her will turn you to stone. I turned to check out Zeus. He looked about as happy as Sam to see this bunch. Now, just a fire-breathing minute, said Hera. This is Mount Olympus. What do all you monsters think you're doing bursting in here like this? You turn around and march right back down to your caves or mazes or underground holes, wherever it is you live. And don't let me see you messing around up here again, or Zeus will give you a mighty thrashing and a blast of his thunderbolts. Isn't that right, dear? Zeus didn't say a word. Typhon's 100 heads hissed and bellowed and squealed. Then one bright red human head, right in the middle of the whole mess, spoke up. Thank you for the warm welcome, Hera, but we plan to stay. In fact, we monsters are taking over Mount Olympus. The flying woman-headed harpies screeched and laughed, dive-bombing our heads. And I don't think Zeus is going to be blasting anyone with his mighty thunderbolts, hissed Typhon's red head. Then he threw something into the air that shook the stars with a sonic boom. Cerberus howled. The monsters cheered. Typhon has Zeus's thunderbolts, said Athena. Brilliant observation, goddess of wisdom, said Aphrodite. clean out your thrones and hit the road, said Typhon. Monsters rule. In your dreams, hundred head, said Ares. I'm the god of war, and I'll fight you for it. The gang of Cyclopses chanted together. Lean to the left, lean to the right. Cyclops, Cyclops, fight, fight, fight. Fred nudged me. That's my line. That's exactly my Cyclops line from the play. I know, I said. The only problem is it's not Brian, and David and Charlie were facing. It's the real Typhon, the real Cyclopses, and the real Thunderbolts. Artemis notched an arrow in her bow and drew it back. Poseidon raised his barbed trident. The three-headed, fire-breathing chimera hissed with its snake head, bleated with its goat head, and roared with its lion head all at once. Ares waved his spear. The Cyclops picked up giant rocks. Both sides stood ready to charge. Sam held his lyre over his head. Someone could get hurt. Zeus turned suddenly and grabbed Fred's thunderbolt. Well, you didn't get all the thunderbolts, smart guy. Die, Typhon, die. And Zeus hurled the thunderbolt with all his might. It flew like a shot and nailed Typhon right in the middle of his red human head. Monsters, gods, and goddesses froze. Fred's aluminum foil-covered thunderbolt bounced off Typhon's forehead and fell harmlessly to the ground. Typhon looked down at the prop thunderbolt with the now broken tip. He looked up and smiled a very evil smile. Someone is definitely going to get hurt, said Sam.